Hey, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Julia.
And this is the Hives Lows podcast, where we talk about pop culture highs and lows, such as our favorites, least favorites, and recent pop culture happenings.
This is a podcast for people who love things as hard as we do. This week, we are talking about our top 5 favorite final girls. But before we get to that, let's do a quick culture catch-up. Olivia, what happened this week?
So, quite a bit. Quite a bit happened this week. I want to talk about some movies that are either being filmed or things that we're excited for.
Mm-hmm.
Something that is filming here in New Mexico, where I'm at right now, is the new Ari Aster movie, Eddington. Have you heard about this?
Oh, it has a lot of people in it, right?
It has people in it who, in my head, should not exist in the same universe. But they do. I think the only 2 people who should exist in the same universe in this cast are Joaquin Phoenix and Ari Aster, because they've worked together before.
Yeah.
But Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone, Austin Butler, and Pedro Pascal don't exist on the same plane of existence in my head.
That is the most weird shuffle cast ever.
It's wild, but I'm excited about it because I love Ari Aster.
Yeah, I haven't seen Beau is Afraid. I wasn't a huge fan of Hereditary, but I did really enjoy Midsommar. Is that
I think that's my consensus. No, I know that that's my consensus as well, because I've only watched Hereditary twice, but I've watched Midsommar 90 times.
No, yeah.
But
yeah. Is it a horror?
I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything about it. I do know they're filming not where I'm at, so I can't go find out. But are filming in this state, so who knows? Maybe I'll go check out, because they were filming at some bar, I guess, because there were some people who worked around the area who were they saw Pedro outside, and I'm
Yo.
You lucky people.
That's
speaking of, yeah, honestly. But speaking of crazy casts, the Among Us show.
Oh my god! Wait, I actually thought this cast was iconic.
It is, but it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Why?
But I saw it and I was like, this actually kind of works.
I know, and it's so funny because all of these people in my head are also just from wildly different universes.
Yeah.
And I know them all from completely different things as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because it's Elijah Wood.
It's Elijah Wood, Randall Park, Nicole Brown, and Ashley Johnson.
Yeah, I was I had to take a second look at Ashley Johnson because I was wait a minute. I was wait a minute.
Brown, because I know her from 2 things. Well, I know her from 3 things. I know her from Drake and Josh.
Yes.
I know her from Avengers Endgame. I know her from...
Wait, who's she in Avengers Endgame?
Small part, but very small part. But when you're as crazy as I am.
No, you're good. I just haven't seen it since it came out. So I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Is she in an elevator?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Sorry.
And I know her from being a huge fan of The Walking Dead and literally live tweeting and going on Talking Dead and stuff just as a fan. And I'm just love her for that, because at the time, when she was going on Talking Dead and stuff, I was a huge fan also. So it was you and Nicole Brown and I are on the same wavelength.
I love that.
But yes, Elijah Wood. That was kind of crazy, but then I remembered he did Over the Garden Wall.
I just recently watched that.
I watched it when it came out, and I've watched it every year since to kick off.
I've heard a lot of the fans of Over the Garden Wall just do that, and I love that. I love that there's an annual rewatch of it. I think that's so cool.
As soon as the leaves start to fall, that's whenever I'm it's Over the Garden Wall time.
Yeah.
And I watch it every year, and unfortunately I don't live with my little sister anymore, but we used to make it a thing where we would
so
watch it
cute.
together to kick off fall. But yeah, I feel like I'm like, is he gonna do the work voice? Because then it's just gonna be work for me. Whichever one he's being. Which one is he being? I forgot.
He's a green one. The only reason I know that is because there's a picture. It's like the talking about it, and above it is someone going, "Is he gonna wear wigs?" And that's the only thing.
Yes. He's going to wear wigs. Yes, but that's just a crazy cast to me. And Ashley Johnson in my head is always Ellie, no matter what.
Yeah, same.
She painted my mind. She will always be Ellie in my head. What's his name? From what Randall Park was the guy. What's his name? Agent Wu in WandaVision. Yeah. I'm just like, this is great. And Helen from Drake and Josh.
So true.
Other movie things that are happening is Love Lies Bleeding came out.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
It next Saturday, and I'm so excited. I'm so
excited. Ever since that trailer came out, my friends and I have been like, this is our movie. And I'm so excited for everyone to just... I literally want to suggest to my friends, can we please dress up for it? Like, we're going to the Oscars because this is our Oscars. Like, this is our movie.
This is our Oscars. So funny. Yeah. And then other movie things, unfortunately for you, I thought, this is the only reason I wrote this down, is that the Batman 2 is being delayed. Did you see that?
I did, and I'm so pissed about it. I remember...
I knew you would.
I remember when there was a time that I was watching the Batman Monthly, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch it every month until the second one comes out. That did not happen, obviously.
No, you gotta watch it until October 2nd, 2026 now.
Yeah, which
is nuts.
Yeah, I obviously am down with the October release date, but 2026 that's so weird. And then also, this isn't it's just, there's another Robert Pattinson movie that's being delayed. That's the Bong Joon-ho one, Mickey 19. Yes. I don't know what it got delayed to, but I'm also pissed about that because the guy who did Parasite's next film, and you delay that, but Batman 2. I'm hoping that they're just taking their time with it. They're not speeding it up. I don't want them to ruin it. I don't think they will, but you know.
Who knows? I always get nervous about sequels. It makes me incredibly nervous. And I did love the Batman.
Yeah.
But other superhero news on the other side, Marvel, which is what I care about. Obviously, it's Bucky and Steve up there on my thing, and then Loki on the other side. But it's just, they're scrapping projects to focus on less risks with movies and more guaranteed hits, which is the weirdest. I can't talk about it all here, I have so much beef with that as a lifelong fan.
Wait, I have a question. Who said that?
I don't know. Okay. It was all over
because Marvel. If it's the CEO of Disney, that makes so much sense. He does not know how to talk.
I don't know if it was, but it doesn't make any sense because I'm like, what's a guaranteed hit?
Yeah, that's what
the things that they scrapped was so weird. They scrapped Captain Marvel 3. I like Captain Marvel, and I loved the Marvels. So this is making me sad, but I know why they scrapped it, and it's because it's not bringing in people. Yeah. Whatever. Same with Ant-Man. The first one brought in people, and the others just didn't. And okay, I'm upset about it, but whatever. But I heard, I don't know if this is a fact or not, but I heard they were scrapping this solo Scarlet Witch movie, and people can correct me if I'm wrong or if that was a rumor or whatever. That would bring in so many people. That's a guaranteed hit. I am not one of the scary Wanda stans on the internet. They frighten me, so I'm not going to say anything bad about them. what I will say is that it just like, that would be a guaranteed hit. That would bring people in. So I'm like extremely confused about why they scrapped that. They also scrapped Eternals too. That makes me sad. That makes me sad.
It makes me sad too, because I really liked Eternals. Like, I do think it is very much like a first draft movie, but that's also because they kept trying to put so much into it, which I appreciate.
I have like a solution in my head for how Marvel can turn things around, but we don't have enough time here. So maybe we'll save that. Maybe we'll do a few Marvel episodes or whatever where I can talk and rant.
That's fine. That's the time that you teach me, because I like fell off of Marvel a long time ago. So
yeah, we'll do that then some other time. But GLAAD Awards happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Bottoms won Outstanding Film.
It's which what is it deserves.
And also, guess what? They're going to put that award right next to their Oscar for Best. A running joke that Bottoms...
We now decided that is a running joke on this podcast. And it's a running joke. Bottoms.
And also, Renee Rapp winning Outstanding Music Artist and also calling for a permanent ceasefire on stage. I can't believe that we are at a time in which we have to say that's brave.
Yeah, I know. And like, she's the one of the first like popular like music artists to do it, which kind of sucks.
No.
Yeah.
It's really like unfortunate. Like, as happy as I am that she did it and like that she took the time like out of her speech to do it, especially like that was her time and she did that, which is awesome. But I just like, and then it just makes me a little sad also.
Yeah, and it was like also her first win too. Like that also. Like, it wasn't like she's won so many. It's like this was her first one.
We love Renee Rapp around here. So
we love Renee Rapp around here. Yes.
We love Rapp around here.
We do.
So, yeah, I'm just like, it's so crazy that we have to say that was like brave of her to do. And like, I think being so outspoken about it, I've seen like Mark Ruffalo, who else?
Melissa Barrera. So yes. That brings it.
Yep. That's crazy that we have to struggle to think of. Well, I think now is a perfect time to get into our top 5 final girls. Julia and I made like individual lists, so we both have like no idea what's on each other's lists. I don't know. Like, everybody, the problem is that everybody has like a different definition of final girl.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, like, you know, it could be anything like that's on your list. You could be like, anything's on Olivia's list. So it's just like, it's making me slightly nervous, and I don't know why, because I'm not very judgmental at all.
No.
So I'm like not even gonna like judge you. I'm just like nervous because I think it's like the anticipation.
No, you're so right. Because I was like, I'm so like, I'm kind of like, that's like, you just described to me my anticipation. It's more just the anticipation on what we're going to discuss also, because we kind of don't know what.
I also think that like, because some people have like preferences about like what type of final girl they like too, and I have like a very like, there's a theme. Never mind. And I didn't know until I saw it all written down, and I was like, oh.
Hey, now I want to see if mine has a theme.
Well, I just think I like a certain type of final girl.
Okay.
I think, like, you know, that has really like shaped my list. Yeah. So would you like to start with your number 5?
My number 5 was a weird one, because I realized, I was like, maybe I should put her down. I don't know. So I put Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I didn't even think of her.
No, here's the thing, Olivia, is that like literally 10 minutes before this, I was like, my original like number 5 pick, I was kind of like, I don't really like, I don't really like, it's not like the final girl that I had was bad, but it was just like, I didn't feel a connection. And I had recently started, there's a YouTube channel called Dead Meat, and they do kill counts.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You follow them. They're doing like their Hannibal series. So I just recently watched that and I was like, you know what? I do really love Clarice. Like that, her and
Yeah.
Hannibal are the best parts of that movie. I don't really
Yes.
like any other part of that movie besides like those two characters. And also I just think it's so interesting the way that her as a character and then also just like how they choose to show her feelings as a woman in her certain line of work
Yeah.
through different kinds of things. And I think that's really interesting, especially for a film that like is, you know, a crime movie. Like they don't really talk or still kind of talk about that with women and their position. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's a great pick because I didn't even think about her. And I haven't seen the movie in so long, but my dad really loves that movie, so it was like on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is such a good pick. I'm so mad at myself
No,
because I would have put her like in honorable mentions. I think my top 5 is just like solidified at
no,
this
that's
point.
so true.
Around, but I would have put her in honorable mentions. Why didn't I think of her?
No, you're so good. Again, I don't think I would have put her down if I watched that Kill Cow. And also, I started watching the sequel to Silence of the Lambs, and I wasn't enjoying it because it was not
Right.
Jodie Foster. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't there like a show or something that's come out recently
which
that
about her, yes, and it didn't do well because my parents were watching. My dad's a fan
yes.
of Silence of the Lambs, and he did not
What?
like
Is it just a dad thing?
I don't know, but like I'm a huge Hannibal fan, like the television show.
Right.
So like I don't know what it is about that, but I heard it wasn't really that good, which is sad because she's
that
an
really
interesting
stinks.
character. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I just also see Clarice Starling as like an ace lesbian icon, and that's just also because I have this thing where if a person is actually like queer in real life, I just imagine the character as queer.
The character is, yeah.
Yeah, so like for example, like the guy who voices Li Shang in Mulan is gay, so I'm like, oh, okay, Mulan's a trans man, so they're together.
Oh my gosh. I just saw a tweet about that this morning.
I just saw a tweet before we started filming.
I feel like our Twitter feeds are the exact same.
Yeah, go on.
That you put on your story that I'm like, I saw that earlier today. Okay. Should we get into my top 5?
Yes, I want to hear your number 5.
Yeah, my number 5 pick was Dana Polk from Cabin in the Woods.
I have not seen Cabin in the Woods.
You need to watch Cabin in the Woods immediately.
I've seen the kill count, and I pretended to watch it for an assignment.
No, I love Cabin in the Woods like dearly. I watch it around Halloween every year. I have a lot of movies that I watch around Halloween every year. Cabin in the Woods is one of them. Dana Polk is so cool. And she's, you know, in, well, you don't know, but in the movie.
I watched the kill count. I know what happens in Cabin in the Woods.
It's burned permanently into my mind, me being like, I don't know when that movie came out. I must have been 11 or 12 when that movie came out. But I have it burned into my memory, her at the button to release the monsters. And she's like, let's get this party started. And then it's something, and all the monsters come out, and I'm like, I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. I think that she's like super cool, and obviously she subverts the like pure virgin final girl thing because that's what her character is supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I really like it. I like whenever I love horror, but I also love when movies make fun of horror.
Yes.
Especially when those movies are horror themselves. Yes. It's great. It's just like everything I want.
Yeah.
So yes.
I think the horror genre is so interesting because there's so many tropes within it, so it allows for so much subversion.
Yes.
And especially with a trope such as the final girl, that can be allowed So I think it's really cool. From what I know of the film, are we allowed to say spoilers?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like they like doesn't she like decide to not sacrifice her and the guy or something?
Yeah, the world ends at the end. They ended the world.
Yeah, and I think that's
So
I
they're
think
the
that
only two people left.
yeah, that's so interesting. That's kind of like a Joel and Ellie situation of like obviously that's a selfish decision like to make, but that adds so much character for that. I think that's
Yes,
interesting.
I think it makes sense for. I mean, you have to watch the movie, but I think it like makes sense for her, and I don't know. She's such a cool character, and like that, just the image of her like pressing the button and releasing all the monsters at the end is just like permanently burned into my brain since I was.
It's so cool that like whole thing with all those monsters and like different. Yeah,
that scene. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I like geek out like out loud. Like whenever I watch it, like even if I'm watching it alone, I'm just like, this is so cool. Like out loud to myself. I should. Okay, let's move on to your number 4.
Yeah, so number 4, I put Jess Bradford from Black Christmas, the original.
Right. Yes, she almost made my honorable mentions.
Yeah, I am a huge I started watching the remake of Black Christmas and I could not do it. Because I think especially for a horror slasher film in the 1970s where the main character is like her main plot line is her getting an abortion is so interesting.
Yes.
And I don't think it's enough talked about that because I remember I was doing a project where we were talking about horror tropes and there was a list of final girls and they all had the checklist of the final girl tropes of like pure like not having sex during the film or like whatever like that or yeah. And I was like, well, Jess doesn't have sex during film, but she does it before because she's pregnant. And that's an interesting plot line, especially. And also, I think it's just so interesting for. I also am just not a huge fan in movies when they make it so over the top. It's like this one makes it subtle. Like it's like yes, it's her plot line, but obviously like that's not the full talking point. The only thing I do have a problem with her is that there's not a lot of character to her. Like she's like just your usual like screaming in the phone and stuff like that.
Perhaps,
I do what?
That's perhaps a product of the time though.
Yeah.
With like female protagonists.
Yeah.
A lot of that happening.
Yeah, but like I do like that she kind of takes ownership of her actions and ownership of her own body, which is nice. I just also think there's a lot of other characters in that movie that are more interesting, but obviously since they seem to be not ladylike, they don't survive. But even still, if we take it the ending of Black Christmas, do we really know if Jess survives? I don't know.
Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, with some of these, like this person was in my honorable mentions, even though it's so silly. But literally, I had Brenda Meeks from the Scary Movie franchise because she's so crazy and I love her so much. But the reason I'm like, she kind of dies every movie and then like comes back in the next movie. And I'm like, does she count? I don't know if she counts.
But that's okay. I have never seen Scary Movie, but I think that is so funny. That she just comes back. I love that that's just a thing.
I'm not kidding. She is throwing hands with all of the monsters.
I love that for her.
And I'm just like, I love her so much. I love her so much.
That's so good.
But yeah, no, I think that like it counts if we don't know or if it's like ambiguous or like weird. That's my point of bringing Brenda up. Is that I don't know. Yeah. I'm gonna say yes in our own definition.
In our definition.
Do we want to go to my number
yes,
4?
What is your number 4?
My number 4 is Aaron Harson from You're Next. I don't know if you've ever seen You're Next.
Hold on. I know what it is.
This woman is literally, she's a super soldier. I don't know. She literally had to have been injected with some sort of like, I don't know how she's doing it. She's jumping out of like 2nd and 3rd story windows and making it. The blender scene, she's just like, she's insane. She's insane. And she was like screwed over in the movie, so like I get it. Like, yeah. But like, I'm like, girl, you would be dead 10 times over and you're still here, and I admire you for that. Like, I deeply admire you for being literally a superhuman person. She's really cool though, and I just have that scene of her covered in blood. Oh, and the guy is like, and she's like, what does she say? She's like, oh yeah, I killed her too. Just like,
I love it.
So funny.
I love it when final girls are just drenched in blood. It's my favorite thing.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing. I had to put her on the list because I'm just like, you're literally like it's not even plot armor. It's like, it's literally like, okay, you're just like literally your skin is made out of titanium or something. Like, and she has that axe the whole time, and she's got the bayangs, and I'm just like, what a look. What a look.
Is it the Dale Leatherfangs from Scream 3 or better?
No. It's like a mid, you know, like in the like 2010s, like early 2010s, when everybody like wanted to have like a heavy bang.
Okay.
And it was like really long hair that was like mostly extensions, and then just like a heavy bang. And Dana Polk also had that. That's not the hidden theme, but Dana Polk also had quite a bang going on. When did that movie come out?
I think it's in 2011.
2011. Yep. I think Cabin in the Woods also came out in 2011.
I think it also did
number
too.
5 and number 4.
Yep, they both came out in 2011.
Wow. Yes, you can tell their outfits. And
it's a period piece.
They're period pieces. Yes. But I don't know if I recommend You're Next. The kills are good. The kills are really good in You're Next. But watching it for Erin, I think just for her superhuman ability, she will be the next person. She's going to go up against Kang by herself with her axe, and she's going to win. Give her an axe, a blender, and a little bit of like, what did she take? Like a window pane or something, if I'm remembering the scene correctly. She's so resourceful. She is so resourceful. And I'm just like, dude, like, she could go up against anybody. Like, they didn't need all 60 characters for Infinity War. Go send Dana Polk and a window, Aaron Harsey and a window pane up against Thanos. And she's got it. All right. Your number 3.
My number 3, I was originally had it lower, but then I started thinking about her more. And I put Ellen Ripley from Alien.
Okay. I'm just going to cut in and say it because I feel like we can say this if our numbers are the same.
Okay.
But Ellen Ripley was my number 3.
Let's go! Yes! Because like the thing is I don't think about Alien, or I will say I've only seen the first 2, and I've heard that's probably for the best.
That's for the best.
It is for the best. We're not counting the 3rd and the 4th. That doesn't matter.
We can just talk about, Unfortunately, I can't remove the other ones from my head. But
oh no, the basketball. Isn't there a scene where she does it and it's her clone or something because they kill her off in the third one and then they were like, oh, we can't let Sigourney Weaver go.
We're gonna skip over this conversation completely because I'm getting stressed thinking about it. So okay, Ellen, though, she's great.
She's great. And like also like it's just so interesting because I personally am a person that likes aliens a little more besides some of the weird choices of casting. But I think it's so interesting to have her be like a mother and also an older woman in horror because I feel like that's not usually a thing.
No, we don't see that a lot in a few genres. Horror is one of them, but and sci-fi, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But because this is a sci-fi horror, but adventure and fantasy as well. You don't see a lot of like older women as protagonists.
Yeah, and it's also and it's also really paired well because like you hear about like because we don't know really a lot about the people in Alien, about their lives and who they are, and then we hear about how Ripley like had a child and then she was and she just was gone for like that girl's entire life. Like that's I
was about to say that was like one of the things I had written down, that how heavily the movie focuses on her trauma is like, it's like shocking for like the time, especially that this movie was made. And I'm just like, I love it so much. She's so interesting. She's so cool. She's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, she's so cool. Like, I just remember, like, being younger and watching the movie and being like, so I want a spacesuit like that. Mm-hmm. like, I want to be Ellen Ripley when I grow up. Like, I think there's a lot of people's mentalities, though, when they watch that movie. If they're, like, younger when they watch the movie, it's like, I want to be her when I grow up. And, you know, Sigourney Weaver, just, nothing to say. Just amazing. Also, she had a cameo in Cabin in the Woods.
Yes, she does. She plays the lady.
She does play the lady.
Yeah, that's funny. When you said, "Oh yeah, Sigourney Weaver," my first thought went to Ghostbusters because that just shows how.
Oh yeah.
But like, I love that the reason why they casted her in Ghostbusters was because her character in Alien was so badass, and then in Ghostbusters she doesn't really do a lot.
In Alien, though, like to see like that. I mean, she really is kind of the blueprint for like the final girl that like literally like has to like physically fight her way like out. Like she's sweaty. She's like physically like strong. Like when you look at her, she's like physically like she's ripped. And it's just like, I'm just like, yeah, like she's kind of the blueprint for like the like final girl that like really like fights her way out and like doesn't like look like stereotypically like pretty doing it. Like obviously she is because she's Sigourney Weaver, but like but like, you know.
And she also like, at least, I mean, especially in both of them, but I'm thinking specifically in the second one because I watched the second one a little bit more than I have of the first. But she doesn't take anyone's shit. She's
no, she's so outspoken.
She's so outspoken, especially when she's like, I'm not gonna let you guys do this again. So
yes, and she's really the glue.
Yeah.
Of like multiple times throughout the franchise is the glue of like multiple groups. Like and I'm just like,
now I'm gonna rewatch Aliens.
I know, she's so good. She's so good. You want to go into your number two?
My number two.
Oh my god, I'm nervous.
Now I'm nervous. My number two is an interesting one. I put Emerald from Nope.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a huge Nope fan. I think it's one of the greatest films of all time. And I just really
love Nope.
I love Nope.
She's in my honorable mentions.
Yeah, she's just it's so interesting. Just like I can talk like for 5 hours about Nope and different things with it, but like Emerald as a character, it's so interesting because like obviously like she's kind of set up to be kind of like a sidekick character, but because of the interesting brother and sister dynamic, she's kind of given a little bit more, and then she ends up being the hero. Like you kind of think it's being set up as like OJ is the one that's gonna, and yes, he does eventually, but she's the one that like kind of completes their dream in a way. And also Keke Palmer is so good.
That's Palmer.
She's so good.
Her.
Like she.
I love Keke. God, I love Keke. And yes, I saw Nope twice in the movie theater, and then I've watched it more since because I love Nope and I love Jordan Peele in general. He's on the wall as well. But yeah, no, I totally agree with that. She was like up there for me almost with like she almost took over Dana on my thing. Dana had a little bit, only had an edge because nostalgia factor. I watched them younger and stuff. But if I hadn't, then Emerald would be my number 5.
Yeah, I love her, and I think it's just I think because maybe I have watched Nope a lot that I do appreciate her, but I also just think she's so resourceful also. There's like I've watched like Nope a lot, especially with subtitles, because I'm really bad with stuff, and I also like examining like lines because I'm a screenwriter.
My number 2 is Grace the Domas from Ready or Not.
She was going to be my number 5. I just haven't seen Ready or Not for a while. Or not Ready, yeah. But like oh
my God, she's so cool.
She was close to being on my list.
That's crazy that our number 2s were close to being.
I just feel like if I watched Ready or Not more, I think I would have her on my list.
I do watch it a lot. I really like a final girl, obviously, that like fights physically. Like my list. It's been just final girls who like they're usually covered in blood by the end. Severely traumatized. I love her. And Samara Weaving.
So good.
That scream is crazy. That scream is nuts.
Yeah.
Like seriously. Like, oh my God. Like I feel it. Like I feel that. And she's kind of like Erin Harson, where she kind of gets screwed over by her love interest. It happens in both You're Next and Ready or Not. And I mean, she's not a superhuman like Erin Harson. But I mean, she is putting in the work.
Yeah. Because doesn't she get like an arrow to her shoulder?
She's got, I mean, everything that can happen to you in a horror movie happened to her.
Yeah, literally. She falls into a pit. Doesn't she the kid shoots her or something? I haven't seen this movie in a while. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and she does it all in a wedding dress.
And then she, oh gosh.
So iconic.
So iconic.
Her image is like, even if you've never seen Ready or Not, it's like burned into everybody's minds. If you've seen commercials, if you've seen the trailer, if you've even seen the poster, like her image is like in your head. Like like that's so iconic. And I think that like, I don't know, it unfortunately I think came out around a time where a lot of just like moneymaker horror movies were coming out where they weren't very good and it was very jump scary and stuff. And I think that even the title being Ready or Not was sort of like putting people off. Because we've had like the we've had the movies where it's like truth or dare.
I
and stuff.
knew you were gonna say that.
Like, you know, kind of just like money making movies that just, you know, whatever. So I do remember that not a whole lot of people saw it in the movie theater, and then later on, when a bunch of horror fans were like, "This movie is sick," that's whenever everybody was like, "Yeah, this movie is sick." And I love her as a character too, because like I don't know, I think like the mantra of like the final girl is just like not giving up, you know, and like if anybody is the poster child for not giving up, like there are so many times during that movie where I would have lost the will if I were
Yeah,
her.
I'd be like, just do it now. Get rid of it.
I'm done. I have no will. Like literally, one time on Halloween, I have a deathly, not so deathly anymore, but like I'm very scared of clowns. Don't like it. Don't want to be around.
That's so understandable.
I hate it. One time when I was, I don't know, in middle school, me and my friend got chased by clowns on Halloween. They were obviously just like teenage boys that were just trying to scare people. I have such a low will that I literally almost gave up. I remember running after us, and my friend made it around the corner, and I was like, well, I'm not making that. And I literally almost sat down and just took whatever was coming to me. I literally had a thought through my mind where I was just like, hey, it'll be over quick if I just sit and just like, go. So I could not be her. I could not be Grace. I could not be. It does make for a funny story, but like I couldn't be her. There were many times during that movie where I was just like, not happening.
And it's all, yeah.
And even it's over for me. I love Grace as a character. She's got that Ellen Ripley quality where it's just like strong, just like, but strong in like a way where you're like, not just like strong and like a lot. I think that a lot of like female protagonists that are like supposed to be like strong or whatever, they struggle from like having like no emotion.
Yes.
And, like she's not like that at all. Like you can like, and the way that Samara Weaving does it too is just like, oh, I'm feeling everything.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, not just like physically, but just like also like emotionally. Like the betrayal. Like that just is like
insane.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Our number one's the same.
Wow. Okay. No, I felt like, okay. I was sure that I love that both of us already knew who our number one was.
Okay. You say it, and then
my number one is Sidney Prescott from Scream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wore the ghost face shirt.
I was gonna wear a Sidney Prescott shirt, and I was gonna unzip it and be like, boom, but I lost it. I don't know where it is. So instead I'm wearing a Nope shirt.
Oh yeah, I do have a Sydney shirt. Didn't know if it was the right time though after everything that's come out.
Yeah, that was another thing that
But I did know I had a separate Scream shirt. I have this ghost face shirt.
I think that's a cute one.
I was like, okay, that'll do. And also it's on the wall behind me. So.
And that's what matters.
And that's what matters.
Yeah. I actually recently watched Scream again because I was like, it was just on Max. It was on HBO Max. Right. I don't know why I said Max because I refuse to call it Max.
Me too.
And it's so rewatchable. Like it's just a movie that it's so good. Like kind of what we were talking about with like horror tropes, and for Sydney to be kind of like what you're talking about, like strong, but in a way of like emotionally and physically, like you feel her pain. And also I feel like it's so interesting for their
and over.
Yeah, over and over. Yeah, 100%. Like
we're talking like franchise then, like yes. Like
and also in addition, like she like has been like grieving far before the movie Like,
yeah,
and that's like a whole thing that she's somehow wrapped into this thing about her mom and her,
I
like,
know.
she,
Like I said about Ellen Ripley, she's the blueprint.
Yep.
Like, yes, and she's also covered in blood by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, now I watched Scream before I watched Alien as a kid, or Aliens as a kid, but I just remember like seeing her and being like, God, she's so cool. Like, she's just so cool. And like, I don't know, there's so many like strong female characters that are written so well that like don't need to be this like stoic, like just never feels any emotion, the trauma doesn't get to them sort of way. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get why we like write female protagonists that way. It just like, it really like is disheartening. But like, Sydney isn't like that. She's so cool. She's an icon. She's a horror icon. Immediately. Out of the gate, she was a horror icon. Everybody knows her face. Everybody knows her name, even if you've never seen Scream. You know her face. You know her name. You know that, like, I mean, she's on everybody's, like, top 5 list of Final Girls. Like, anytime that you, like, hear people talking about Final Girls that she's brought up, she is the Final Girl.
Yeah. Which is so interesting because like Scream came out in the 1990s and like obviously there were so many Final Girls before her, but she kind of reinvented what could be a Final Girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. Because I'm like thinking about like somebody who I had on my honorable mentions list is, I don't know if she's considered the first Final Girl or one of the first Final Girls, but Lila Crane from Psycho.
Yes, I was also thinking about putting her on my list because I just recently watched Psycho for class.
For the first time?
No, I had seen it before when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. Because I'm a big, big Psycho fan. Like a big Psycho fan. Like I have a Funko Pop of Norman Bates over there. Yeah, like I feel like going, like if we're looking at like Lila versus like Sydney, like totally completely like a 180 about final, like of what a Final Girl is. Like and I just love that like that Sydney really is like the bookend to like a generation of Final Girls and like the start of like a new generation of Final Girls.
And I think that's why she's so memorable, is that you're completely right. Like she kind of, because like when Scream came out, like it was around the time that like horror films were not doing so well. It was sequel after sequel. And for that film to come out, it kind of not only made fun of the genre, but it started reinventing of like, what tropes can we take that aren't great and what can we reinvent them with? And I just think it's so interesting that Sydney does that. Even if she doesn't think that she is, like she is. And
also I obviously I love the Scream movies. And you know, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future.
I will not be watching it. Sorry.
I just don't feel like it's, I'm not going to be watching it either, which is just unfortunate.
Yeah. I'm so sad that the Scream franchise ended after Scream set. I'm so sad that that was the last movie.
Scream. I don't know if I'm sad about that though.
I mean, I'm not sad about it. I just meant like, because I don't know if you've seen the tweet. There's been tweets where someone was like, "Wow, Scream 7 was such a great ending. I'm so glad." And I'm like, yeah, same.
It's unfortunate, especially because I do have such like a love for the franchise and like I really, really, really I don't really hate any of them, and I know that's controversial. But I don't really hate any of them. I mean, obviously we can make fun of 3 all day. But like, I don't hate it. I rewatch it every Halloween. I rewatch all of them, and I really just have like such a love for it that like goes like it really did, like it was like one of the first horror movies I ever watched, and like now it's like my favorite. It's my favorite, one of my favorite franchises of all time. Unfortunately,
not anymore.
But, unfortunately, I can't say that and like it be like me feel like morally correct anymore.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't tainted.
I love the Scream franchise 1 through 7.
Yes. Yeah. But it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just something like, and like, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. It's just hard.
It's hard
to like come to terms with it. It's just like really sad. I think that like lots of people online like were like coping with jokes.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think it's so
coping with, I am like genuinely upset about it.
Yeah, and it's also that like what sucks is that like I think Scream was one of the like kind of like reboot series that was doing really well, because like yeah
yes,
I have only seen the first reboot of the Halloween franchise. I
thought they tried to reboot that multiple times. I saw up to H2O, and then I watched no, what was that? Never mind. No, I didn't. Well, I mean, what I thought was going to come out of my mouth was not right.
No, they're so good because there's so many freaking timelines. Like they like.
That's the problem. I get so confused.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, what? I just want to mention that Laurie Strode was on my honorable mentions list.
So I've only seen the first Halloween and the like Halloween, when did it come out? The 2018 one, whenever like they decided to like, and I think the interesting concept there is what we've been talking about with like these characters of like an older woman who's dealing with her trauma and PTSD and how that affects her family. But I haven't seen the rest of the franchise to really care for Laurie in a way, but I don't know what your thoughts are that.
Yeah, no, I just think that she really, she's kind of like Sydney, where it's kind of like she kind of, before then the like concept of like a final girl, I don't know if it was like coined or whatever, but like Laurie Strode was like the final girl.
Yeah, because they
a very long time, and like she's one of the ones you think of whenever you're like think of a final girl. She's one of the ones that you think of, and,
and she's
I do. I like her a lot. I already said about everybody on my honorable mentions, but I'll just go through them really quick.
Yes.
I had Lila Craig from Psycho. I had Laurie Strode. I had Brenda Meeks from the Scary Movie franchise. I don't know how people are going to feel about that.
I think that's like, I think that's awesome.
Well, like when I was like a little kid and like everybody was watching those movies and stuff, and like I was not like very keen on seeing like Black women in horror movies. Like I hadn't seen them, and like as a Black woman, I was like, well, I want to be in a horror movie, and like obviously it's a parody, very good parody. Obviously it's a parody, but I thought like she was so cool, and she's so funny. She's so funny.
Never seen Scary Movie, but I always see her clips on Twitter, and I'm like, she's
her fighting the girl from The Ring is so funny. She's messing up my floor. So funny. It's so funny when she started. I think she like started dating the puppet from Saw in one of the movies.
Good for her.
Good for her. She's so funny. I think that's a great place to wrap it up.
Thank you for listening to us ramble this week. Please go follow us on social media at Zhive Media on all social media platforms, and give us a follow on our personal socials as well.
Yep, we'll see y'all next week. Until then, we've been Hives and Lows.